Good morning, friends. Let us see the unit number 6, that is friction. Now, if you see the surfaces of different bodies, they never be perfectly smooth. Even though if you see the smooth surface under the microscope, you will found some roughness or irregularities. Now, those irregularities or roughness of bodies we cannot see by our naked eyes, or we cannot detect by our ordinary touch. Now, if such a bodies, when we are placed on a plane surface, because of certain degree of interlocking property of that body surface, due to projected particles on the surfaces, the body will not move. Now, the force is not going to exist till the body does not move or tends to move. But when we tend to move the body tangentially with respect to the surface on which the body is placed, or on which the body is rest, because of the interlocking property of the minutely projected particles, there will be some resistance to the motion of that body. Now, this resisting force which oppose the motion of the body, which will act in the opposite direction of that motion of the body, in the opposite direction of the motion of the body, such a forces are called as frictional force or a force of friction. Now, generally it is seen that the frictional force is going to act between the joints of a machine, okay, where the relative velocity between the two moving components takes place. Now, frictional force is not always undesirable. Some desirable effects of friction are there. Like if you see the human walking on a road, then the car moving on a road, because of the friction between the car wheels and the road, the car moves. You can see that the power is transmitted by the belt drives, that is because of the friction between the belt and pulley, between the gears, the motion or power may be transmitted. So these are the some useful applications of friction, we can say, desirable effects of friction. Then the types of friction, the first type of friction, it is a static friction. It is the friction experienced by the body when the body is at rest. When the body is in static condition, whatever friction experienced by the body, that friction is called as static friction. The second type of friction, it is the dynamic friction. When the body is in moving condition, when the body moves, whatever friction experienced by the body, that friction is called as dynamic friction. It is also called as a kinematic friction. Now, this dynamic friction is again categorized in three different types, that is sliding friction, rolling friction, and pivot friction. Sliding friction, it is the friction experienced by the body when one body slides over the other. Rolling friction, it is the friction experienced by the body when that body rolls on the other body. You see the example of ball bearing. And the third type of dynamic friction, it is the pivot friction. It is the friction experienced by the body due to the motion of rotation. The best example of pivot friction, that is the shaft rotates in the footstep bearing, is the example of pivot friction. Now let us see what is the limiting friction. Now here you can see that in figure A, The body A is placed on a plane surface B. This body A is having weight W, which is acting in downward direction. And when the weight is acting in downward direction, one reaction is going to act in the opposite direction to that of this load. Okay, so that reaction is normal reaction acting in upward direction, and in the opposite direction to that the weight of that body which is acting in downward direction. Now here in figure B, some force P is applied, some force P1 is applied on the body to move the body on this plane surface. But here the body will not move as the force P1 is lesser than the frictional force F1. F1 is the frictional force which acts between the surfaces of body and the surface on which the body is placed. So here F1 is equal to P1, so body is not going to move. Again the force P1 is increased from P1 to P2 till still the force P2 is equal to frictional force F2. Now certain stage will come after which the frictional force is not going to increase. Now here you can see that the applied force P, still it is equal to frictional force F. But at this stage, after this stage, the frictional force is not going to increase. So when the force P increases from P to P plus delta P, which is greater than the frictional force, the body will tend to move. Okay, in figure number E. In figure number E, we can see that the applied force is greater than the frictional force F. Now in figure D, we can see that the frictional force F is equal to the applied force P. So the maximum value of the frictional force which comes into play when a body just begins to move, that frictional force, that value of the frictional force is called as limiting force of the friction. So what is the limiting friction? It is called as, it is the maximum value of frictional force which comes into play when a body just begin to slide or just begin to move over the surface of the other body. That value of friction is called as limiting force of friction or limiting friction. Next, what is the coefficient of friction? It is defined as, it is the ratio of limiting friction F to the normal reaction Rn, and it is generally denoted by mu. So mathematically it is written as coefficient of friction mu is equal to F divided by Rn. Then next is limiting angle of friction. Now you can see that here body A having weight W. So this is a body A having weight W acting in downward direction, which is placed on a plane surface capital P, or we can say it is a horizontal plane surface capital B. Now here you can see that if a horizontal force P is applied to the body, no relative motion will take place until applied force P is equal to the force of friction. Now the body is not going to move, the body will not tend to move till the friction, the applied force P is equal to the frictional force F, which is written as mu into Rn. The magnitude of this frictional force is written as F is equal to mu into Rn, where Rn is the normal reaction which is equal in magnitude and opposite in direction to that of the weight of the body W. In the limiting case, when the motion just begins, the body will be in equilibrium under the following three forces. One, for the first force, it is the weight of the body W acting in downward direction. The applied horizontal force P, which is parallel to the horizontal plane surface, and the reaction R between the body A and the plane B. Now, what is that reaction R? It is the resultant of weight of body W and the applied force P. So, the reaction R will act in opposite direction to that of resultant of applied force W and force P, which is applied on the body A. Now, the angle of friction, the limiting angle of friction, it is defined as it is the angle between the normal reaction Rn and the reaction R, which is denoted here by phi. So here tan phi is written as frictional force F divided by normal reaction Rn. Here you can see that tan phi is equal to frictional force F divided by Rn. So putting the value of frictional force F is equal to mu into Rn. Rn will be cancelled, so that is equal to mu. So from the given condition we can write tan phi is equal to mu. So here phi denotes the limiting angle of friction, which is defined as it is the angle between normal reaction Rn and the reaction R. Now let us see what is the angle of repose. Here you can see that there is a plane inclined surface B is there on which body A is placed. The body A is having weight W acting in downward direction. Now this weight W will have two components, that is a W cos alpha and W sin alpha. Now here the plane inclined surface having angle alpha with the horizontal. On this inclined surface the body A is mounted, or body A is placed having weight W which is acting in downward direction. So alpha is the angle of this inclined plane with the horizontal. Now what is that angle of repose? It is the angle of inclined surface with the horizontal when body just begin to move in downward direction. Here it is seen. If the angle of inclination alpha of the plane to the horizontal is such that the body begin to move down the plane, then the angle alpha is called as angle of repose. Without applying any force on the body A, the body will start to move in downward direction. The body will begin to move in downward direction. So whatever angle of that inclined surface with the horizontal. So how to define the angle of repose? It is the angle of inclined plane with the horizontal at which the body begins to move in downward direction without influence of any force which is going to be applied on this body. Now here R is the reaction, Rn is the normal reaction, F is the frictional force. As the body moves in downward direction, frictional force will act in upward direction. This is the direction of motion, that is in downward direction. So alpha is the angle of inclination of this inclined plane with the horizontal. So this vertical force W, that is the weight of body A, will have two components, W cos alpha and W sin alpha. So the angle of friction phi. So we have already seen what is the angle of friction. It is the angle between reaction R and normal reaction Ra. So alpha is equal to phi, that is the angle of repose alpha is equal to angle of friction phi. So how to prove this condition? So it is proved like this. The weight of the body can be resolved into following components: W sin alpha, it is along the inclined plane, and W cos alpha, it is perpendicular to the inclined plane. So that W cos alpha is equal and opposite to the normal reaction Rn. So the body will begin to move in downward direction when W sin alpha, that is the horizontal component, that is the component along the plane, component of weight of body W along the plane, that is W sin alpha, is equal to frictional force F. So frictional force F is written as mu into Rn. So Rn, here you can see that it is also equal to W cos alpha. So putting the value of Rn as a W cos alpha, so it is a mu W cos alpha. So cos alpha is taken on left hand side, it will become sin alpha divided by cos alpha is equal to tan alpha. And if you take W on right hand side, W will be cancelled, only remaining is mu. So it is tan alpha is equal to mu. We know mu is equal to tan phi. So tan will be cancelled. So here angle of repose alpha is equal to angle of friction phi. That is alpha is equal to phi. Now let us see what is the minimum force required to slide a body when the body is placed on a rough horizontal plane. So here body A is placed on plane surface, capital B. The body A is having weight, capital W, acting in downward direction, so the normal reaction will act in opposite direction to that of capital W. As we are pulling the body towards right hand side, the frictional force will opposite, so the frictional force will act in opposite direction to that of applied force direction. Now resolving the forces horizontally, resolving the forces acting on the body A horizontally and vertically. So in both way, that is in a horizontal direction and vertical direction, we will resolve the forces which are going to act on body A. So initially we will resolve the forces vertically acting on body A. So in upward direction, two forces are going to act. Now here we can see that the applied force P, it is inclined with the horizontal at an angle theta. The force which is applied on the body A to move the body towards right hand side, it is denoted here by capital P, but it is not exactly horizontal, it is at an angle theta with the horizontal. So here that force P which is applied on the body is resolved into two components. One is horizontal components P cos theta and vertical component is P sin theta. So P sin theta and Rn, they are acting in upward direction, whereas W is acting in downward direction. So resolve the forces acting on the body vertically. Rn plus P sin theta is equal to capital W, as W is acting in downward direction. So taking P sin theta on left right hand side, so it is Rn is equal to W minus P sin theta. And resolving the forces horizontally acting on the body A, it is P cos theta is equal to F, that is equal to mu Rn. So P cos theta is equal to F, that is equal to mu Rn. This is equation number 1 and this is equation number 2. Substituting the value of Rn from equation 1 in equation number 2. So this is the value of Rn from equation 1. Put that value of Rn here, that is in equation number 2. So it is P cos theta as it is, mu as it is, putting the value of Rn down, that is equal to W minus P sin theta, that is equal to, we know mu is equal to tan phi, inside the bracket W minus P sin theta. So tan phi is written as sin phi divided by cos phi, rest of the things as it is. So it is P cos theta is equal to sin phi divided by cos phi, inside the bracket capital W minus P sin theta. So P cos theta, taking cos phi on left hand side, so it is P cos theta into cos phi, and that is equal to, now the bracket is multiplied by the sin phi, so it is a W sin phi minus P sin theta sin phi. Taking P sin theta sin phi on left hand side, the term will become P cos theta cos phi, this term as it is, plus P sin theta sin phi, that is equal to W sin phi. So it is cos A into cos B plus sin A into sin B, that is written as cos A minus B. So P is common here, so it is P cos theta minus phi, that is equal to W sin phi. So P is equal to W sin phi divided by cos, inside the bracket, theta minus phi. The minimum force we are calculating here, which is required to slide or move the body on a horizontal plane. So the force P will be minimum when the denominator of this equation will become maximum, that is maximum value of this denominator will be 1. So cos theta minus phi is equal to when, it will be only possible when the value theta minus phi will become 0. Okay, and it will be possible when theta is equal to phi. So the minimum force required to slide or move the body on a horizontal or rough surface, P minimum is equal to W sin theta. From this equation, the maximum value of this denominator is 1. So minimum force, that is P minimum, which is required to slide the body on a plane, a rough horizontal surface, P minimum is equal to W sin theta. Thank you. In the next video, we will see how much force is required to move the body on the inclined planes. Thank you.